Wendy Williams, guys. Wendy Williams' guardian sold her apartment in New York City for way less than she bought it for. Let's get into this. So, this week, there were reports that Wendy Williams' guardian, let me go back, let me rewind a little bit. You guys know Wendy Williams was the queen of daytime talk show. We loved Wendy Williams, right? Then Wendy Williams gets divorced from husband Kevin Hunter. Why? Because, no, I'm going to say this and I'm going to claim it's because of Tasha K. Tasha K forced Wendy Williams to divorce Kevin Hunter. I believe Wendy Williams knew about the mistress all along. That mistress was with Kevin Hunter for how long? Like 10 years or plus. She used to go to the same vacation they were going to. I mean, whenever they would go for a family vacation, Kevin would also tell the girl to go to the same place. And at one point, she used to live down the street from Wendy's house with Kevin Hunter. This is when they were still married. So I, for one, don't believe Wendy didn't know. I think Wendy knew. I don't know whether they had an open marriage. It doesn't seem so. And if she wasn't okay with it, Kevin couldn't stop seeing that woman, so Wendy had to accept it. But I think the rule was it must be private and don't bring a baby here. As long as that is happening, I'm good. Now, Tasha K. Why is it Tasha K who forced Wendy to get divorced? Let me tell you. Tasha K is not the same, guys. Tasha K used to be fun to watch. Tasha K was Wendy Williams times 100. Tasha K was Wendy Williams when Wendy Williams was on radio in New York City. Wendy Williams had no filter on radio. She had no boundaries. Wendy Williams went there, okay? Wendy Williams, when she was on radio, she was the first to expose that Beyonce's father is a cheat. He always cheats. And you know, Wendy's big mouth, she said it on radio. Beyonce stopped talking to Wendy Williams. They wanted Wendy Williams blacklisted. They called Wendy Williams all sorts of liars. Beyonce and her mother called Wendy Williams all sorts of liars. And Wendy Williams was like, I'm not lying. I am not lying. Only for a few years later for Beyonce and Beyonce's mother and father to get separated. Why? Because her father was cheating and had a baby outside wedlock. And Beyonce did not talk to her father for years. To this day, at least publicly, Beyonce does not talk to her brother. I mean, they are biologically related through the father, but she does not talk to him. There's no contact between the two. But anyway, let's get back to Wendy's case. So, some time ago, before Wendy got divorced, Tasha K exposed that Kevin Hunter, Wendy Williams' husband at that time, the mistress had a baby. Wendy Williams, Tasha K pretended to be, what's the girl's name? Sharina Hudson. The mistress was Sharina Hudson. Tasha K pretends to be Sharina. We are watching live on YouTube. Let me tell you, Tasha used to be fun. Cardi B, you have ruined Tasha K for us. Okay, YouTube is not the same because of you, Cardi B, and I blame you. But anyway, she calls live. She calls the hospital. And at that time, Tasha K was pregnant with her son. Let me tell you, Tasha did the craziest ish when she was pregnant. Side note, I remember Tasha, she was 7 months pregnant, fighting live. Some of you know this story. Tasha K was fighting live with Lovely T, Malibu Dollface. They were fighting for 8 hours straight at night. I was going to work the next day. I did not sleep that night because it was too good. 8 hours live, pregnant Tasha K and Lovely T. You guys, Lovely T was fighting with Tasha K live. That's when Lovely T was calling Tasha K Regina Drunk. Let me tell you, Tasha was a mess. I miss that Tasha, I do. But anyway, Tasha K calls the hospital and tells the receptionist that, oh, my cousin just gave birth. Her name is Sharina Hudson. And she gave them a different name too. And said, I believe she's in the maternity ward. Can you check for me? The nurse says, oh, yes, she's in the maternity ward. She says, I want to send flowers to her. Can you send me to her room? Now, we didn't hear the part where she's transferred to Sharina's room, but Tasha says that when she's transferred to the room, Sharina picks up the phone and Tasha calls her by a certain name. And I think at that point, Sharina Hudson knows, no, I don't know this person. And she hangs up. But she pretty much got confirmation that the mistress was pregnant. The next day or days later, Wendy Williams is still on her talk show, the Wendy Williams Show, goes on TV and says, oh, all is well in Huntersville, showing us her wedding ring. All is well in Huntersville, all is good. Well, once everybody reported that indeed Kevin Hunter's mistress had a baby, Wendy Williams filed for separation. They eventually divorced. What we learned from that situation was that Wendy's backbone, Wendy's engine, was Kevin Hunter. After she filed for divorce, Kevin Hunter was fired from the Wendy Williams Show. And we learned that without Kevin Hunter, there was no show. Wendy could not function without her husband. Unfortunately and sadly, she started missing days at work. People started sitting in for Wendy for months while they were waiting for Wendy to get herself together. She relapsed, alcohol, went into rehab, in and out, in and out. She just was totally a mess after she was no longer with Kevin. And we know what happened. She got fired. She lost her show, the show that she loved so much. It was given to Sherry Shepherd. Since then, it has been downhill for Wendy and fast. The woman is crushing fast, right? But Wendy had all this money. She was allegedly worth $50 million, guys. And then Wendy, whenever she got online, she was just making no sense whatsoever. At one time, they wouldn't even allow Wendy to speak because they knew what came out of the mouth. It just became a circus around Wendy. Then one day, we learned that Wells Fargo has frozen Wendy's account. Her accounts. Why? Because people around her were taking advantage of her financially. A lot of YouTubers cried foul. Why are white banks freezing a black woman's money? She's worked so hard for that money. I was not one of those. I was like, they need to freeze her money, especially if people are taking advantage of her financially. Remember, Britney was also in a conservatorship, but hers was way different from Wendy. Hers, it was her parents taking advantage of her. But you know what? Sometimes when you look back at Britney Spears, have you seen what Britney Spears does in her living room on Instagram? The girl is gone. She is stuck when she was the pop princess, okay? She is stuck in that time. We want to free Britney from Britney. But we love Britney. We like Britney. But anyway, so they froze her accounts. Wendy was not all up there in the head. And then people were using her illness, her sickness, her addiction to take advantage of the money. She was spending too much money fast. And honestly, from the reports, her son is useless. And then her brother is useless. Like there was no one around Wendy who could make sound decisions for her health and financially. And for me, honestly, it seems like Kevin Hunter was good for her in terms of business, right? And finances. If Kevin Hunter were over Wendy Williams' finances today, this would not be happening to Wendy. What happened to Wendy? What do I mean this? So let's get to now, today, 2024, where Wendy Williams' apartment or condo in New York was sold for so much less, and people are saying something is wrong, something is off about this sale of property. So back in 2021, Wendy Williams bought an apartment in Manhattan, New York City, for allegedly 4.5 million. I'm going to put the amount here just in case I don't have the right ones. Well, recently it was reported that her guardian sold that same apartment for $3.7 million. Now look at the difference. 2021 acquired it for 4.5. She sells it for 3.7. It should be the other way. That she acquired it for 3.5, she acquired it for 3.7 and sold it for 4.5. But no. And you know why this is raising a lot of eyebrows with people? First, think about this year and the environment when it comes to properties, housing, buying a house, mortgages, renting an apartment or renting a house. It is so expensive. Everything is so expensive. There are people who have been basically cut out from buying a home because interest is high and the houses are they're stupid expensive. I'm telling you. I have a house. If I tell you my house has appreciated so much, it is crazy that sometimes me and my husband are like, should we sell this out and move to Spain? I mean, we've been thinking about it because we know if the housing market starts to go like this, it may not be good. But it is crazy how much homes have appreciated in value. Now think about this. New York City is one of the most expensive cities in the world, let alone in the United States. Now, properties rarely depreciate. They may every now and then when there's like a housing crash, like it happened in 2008. But often they don't. That's why we call them assets, They appreciate in value. They're not a liability, right? You don't lose money. You are supposed to, at least that's the idea, you're supposed to get money from a house over time. How is it that in one of the most expensive cities in the world, New York City, Manhattan being one of the 5 boroughs of New York City, if not the most expensive of the 5, that Wendy Williams' apartment went for what? 800,000 plus, less than what she acquired it for? Does it make sense? In this environment where housing is out of reach for millions of people worldwide and even in the United States, homelessness has increased in the United States. People who work can't even afford to pay rent. Most people have moved back in with their parents. They can't afford. And then you're telling me you sold the house for less? $800,000 plus less? So people are like, something is off about this picture. And they're like, Wells Fargo, or if not Wells Fargo, her guardian is robbing Wendy Williams dry. They've just robbed Wendy Child, just robbed Wendy Williams dry. Because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up and it doesn't make sense at all. And people are asking, who bought Wendy Williams' apartment? We need to see the connection between the person who purchased that apartment to the guardian, the one who sold Wendy's apartment. And I'm sure this guardian is going to say, we informed Wendy. But as we know, Wendy is suffering from dementia. She doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't even remember. It's hard for Wendy to make decisions. And that is one of the reasons that Wells Fargo and the Guardian cited, is that they had to sell it because Wendy can't make financial decisions. We also learned that there is a lien against Wendy for over $500,000, 500,000 plus Wendy owes. So that could be one of the reasons why they sold this apartment as quickly as they did. But I'm like, even though Wendy owes over $500,000, why would you sell it for way less than she acquired it for? That doesn't make sense. Now, there are also reports that Wendy is broke. So we don't know. But as for this video, I was just going to talk about it seems Wendy is being robbed dry, and her family is not involved, her son is not involved, and the son is to blame because, everybody in her family seemingly was taking advantage of her, or allegedly. Anyway, guys, what do you think of this story? Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Until the very next video, thank you so much, guys. Bye.